Okay, hello everybody. We're back, and today we are here with Vanessa Rudge. And I've been to Vanessa's training just after I finished my second bigger yoga teacher training, my 500 hours. Luckily, I was there because Vanessa taught me and introduced me into the art of vinyasa sequencing. And I still have your book, and that's like everywhere I go, I have this book because I always refer to it, and the awesome tables you have there and you shared and everything. So thank
It's
you for
almost
that.
like an initiation, isn't it?
Yes.
It's such a way of life.
Definitely, definitely. And the training
Yeah.
was so thorough. It was a 2.5 day. It started with an afternoon on Friday with I think 2 hour practice or 3 hour practice.
Yeah.
And then we had a weekend full of information and full of exchange. And I remember have given us so many good tips as yoga teachers. We were all already teaching, but we just finished our trainings or taught for a year and had these stumble blocks of, I'm getting bored with what I'm teaching, or I'm not creative, or I don't have enough time to plan. And you had so many good advice that I still carry with me. So thank you
Oh,
for that.
that's so
Yes,
wonderful to hear.
yes,
Thank
yes, yes.
you.
So
Thank you.
Vanessa is on the Sunshine Coast. I was in your studio in Maroochydore. Is
Mhm.
that so? And it's called Being Yoga. You're the co-founder of
That's right.
Being Yoga, and
Yes, Maroochydore and Coolum Beach, and now we've opened in Brisbane as
oh
well at Ascot.
wow,
Yeah, yeah.
fantastic! Yeah, of course. I mean, and I met many teachers who told me that they trained with you. So, and they're all really enthused, happy teachers.
Mm.
So spreading your light everywhere. And you've
Yeah.
been teaching now for 20 years. And your first yoga teacher training you did with Erich Schiffman, or your first class, is that correct?
My first class, yeah, it was.
Wow.
I had some amazing, lucky yoga karma to just wander into this yoga studio in LA, and it was a yoga class with Eric Schiffman, which just blew me away.
Yeah.
And I think that was the seed. I had tried to go to yoga classes before that. I'd been to tried to go to yoga classes in Australia, and
Yeah.
they were cancelled, or the teacher didn't show up, or something. And so, I just gave up, and happened to be in LA and wasn't even thinking yoga. And a friend just took me along to a class and said, oh, this teacher's great. And I walked out of there and just went, that's it. That's all I'm doing with the rest of my life.
Wow.
I am just going to teach yoga. And I knew that when I'm 80, I'm still going to be teaching yoga.
Oh gosh.
And
Woo.
so, and I know I get goosebumps too.
Yes.
And so I think that has been a real seed, like to have a world-class teacher as my first teacher.
Yeah.
I think that has, it set the bar really high for me. I sound like a yoga snob, but but
Okay.
but for me it was it just showed me where I could take this, and then I'm in this constant attitude of trying to uplift teachers, as you talked about, just trying to uplift everyone so that absolutely everyone who walks into yoga and their first yoga class just goes, wow, this yoga is amazing. And
Yes. Yeah.
so it's a real passion of mine to
Yes.
try and develop teachers like that,
Yeah.
and try and be that in myself. And I don't always feel that, but
No, but
but
that's
I really, pay homage to Eric for
yeah.
lighting that flame in me. In
Yes.
fact, can I say I just went to see him again last year
Oh
for the
wow.
first time in 21 years,
Oh
and
my
he actually remembered me, and we had this embrace, and I was just like
God.
sobbing in his shoulder, just going, oh, you've given me everything.
Oh my God.
Yoga has just given me my whole life,
Yeah.
my career, my partner,
Yeah.
my family, my house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that was a really precious, precious moment.
Oh my God, that's a dream. That's a
It
dream.
really
And actually, Erich Schiffman, even though I have never met him in person, someone, when I finished my first teacher training, sent me his book. moving into stillness. And my first year when I was living in the desert teaching yoga, that was my handbook for teaching. Like it was the way how he explained it. And I still say, snuggle your feet into the mat. And
he is a gorgeous man. A gem.
Yes.
A real gem.
So when you finished your first teacher training, after that, how did you grow from like starting teaching into now offering teacher trainings, having 3 studios, having teacher trainers, having like this little empire, yoga empire on the Sunshine Coast or up north? What happened?
Well, I started my teaching career back in the days before Google and before there were any teacher training courses as such. So it was all by apprenticeship, which is a very different situation. And I didn't even do like regular apprenticeships. I did kind of half an apprenticeship with an Ashtanga teacher here in Brisbane, Graham Northfield. And so that was my start, and my roots are really Ashtanga based, and which was not even any teaching. So Ashtanga is all Mysore style and just getting around and adjusting and hands on bodies and just overseeing and holding a space. So I got really solid in that, even though I didn't finish the apprenticeship. Then I moved up to Cairns, and it was actually through Nikki Knopf, and it was before Knopf Yoga and before, so she was the only Ashtanga certified and Iyengar certified teacher in Australia, basically, and she was a really senior Iyengar teacher. So she kind of brought Iyengar and Ashtanga together, which I don't recommend. It's it's too intense. It's too intense. So anyway, I got a great, got really solid in alignment and the postures, and so that was really my roots is Ashtanga and Iyengar. And so I completed my apprenticeship up with Nikki, and then started teaching, and then that has been a really long apprenticeship as well. Maybe I can talk about that in a little bit, but I'll just continue on because with that I had been teaching kind of that Ashtanga Iyengar model for 7 or 8 years, maybe 9 years, and then I started to get a little bored with that, and that's when Vinyasa entered my life, and it just lit me up. And so I walked out of my first Vinyasa yoga class and went, wow, what just happened? It was that seamlessness to it. It just felt so sublime and so right. It was really this coming home for me. And then I was blessed with attending a training course with Tui Merrigan.
Wow, okay, yes.
Who is a Shiva Ray senior teacher. And so she came, and because I had children, it was really hard to get away and do 10-day trainings or months-long trainings. And so I kind of had to wait till people came to me. And Tui Merrigan just really blew my... Can you hear my dog?
Yes. That's very cute. I thought your husband maybe is sitting next to him. Having a cup of tea.
I think she's finished. You might have to edit that out.
That's okay.
So when I met Tui Merrigan, she just blew my world apart. She really showed me how to be an amazing teacher. Like I'd developed as much as I could kind of on my own, because Sunshine Coast is sort of rural, and I'm one of the senior teachers here on the Sunshine Coast, so it's hard to get along to other people's classes. And this was before Yoga Glow and before YouTube, that amazing resource that it is. So Twee Merrigan came and showed me how to really sequence vinyasa well, how to live vinyasa, how to be this sensual goddess of a creature, and I've still got my L plates on with that. But Twee Merrigan is just she really rocked my world and took my teaching to a whole other level. Like I'd finish class and I'd just be just in awe of her, just her real empowerment.
Yeah.
That, you know, she had probably channeled from Shiva, and so as well as added her own flavor to it. Yeah. So she really opened me up, and that was I would like to talk about the 10-year slump.
Okay. Yes,
for teachers.
Please.
So for, you know, I said that I was getting a bit bored by 7 or 8 or 9 years, and by my 10th year, I actually took a year off teaching yoga, which for me meant still teaching 1 or 2 classes a week because I couldn't let it go completely.
Yeah.
But so I think that that's part of the vinyasa as well. You know, we have these peaks and troughs, and that just for teachers who are maybe hitting that 9 or 10 year of 10th year of teaching and are kind of bored or looking for something new, to really open yourself to that and to go and try other styles, other teachers, and because yoga is this vast ocean, but you know, we can kind of get railroaded into tiny little bit and just get dull to that. And, you know, thinking about neuroplasticity and how our brain works, and that learning keeps us young and keeps us bright and vital, that there's always more to learn. Even myself as an established teacher, I feel like I'm still, like I said, I've still got my L plates on in so many areas. But for me, I had to take that little break, and then I could enter back into the new vinyasa, that new upshift with renewed vigor, because I had met Twee, and that's when we started teacher trainings as well. And so that for me was a whole other level of teaching. Like until then I'd been teaching classes, you know, a few workshops or retreats, and then that to start leading teacher trainings was a whole other level. And that was that caused me to or made me become a better teacher again, and started me up on this whole other trajectory of growth, which I'm still high on.
So what is the so that was when you had your own studio already? Did you start off straight away with a studio, or did you?
No, just classes in halls. Yeah. And in my house.
Everywhere.
The usual.
Yes. Okay. The usual. That's amazing. And when did you decide to open your own studio? What was the you know,
catalyst? Yeah, it was doing one of those teacher trainings, and the hall that we hired had, so we'd hire it for the Saturday and the Sunday, but then they'd rent it out to parties on the Saturday night.
Oh, and that's so smelly the next day.
So sometimes we'd be in there at 8 a.m. mopping up this beer off the floor, and we just went, no. No, we have to create a sacred space, and so that's been. So I think it's only been about 5 years that we've actually had the studio.
Yes, I love the one in Maroochydore. From the outside, you moved since then. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I loved it. It was a sacred space. That's for sure. And now, so when we emailed, I said to you, you know, that's oftentimes that, because I struggled, I'm still learning as well to present myself online, because, and you, as you said, there was no internet, there was no Google, there was no YouTube before that. Now you had to grow into that as well, and even a part of that, like how did you grow your community offline and online? So how and what were the obstacles you had to overcome, and how did you overcome them?
For me, this goes back to what I alluded to before, which was about the personal growth that I've experienced through teaching yoga.
Yeah.
And it's been a real journey for me to be comfortable in front of people, and to be okay about being seen and about being heard. And to the extent, you know, people look at me now and go, oh, but, you know, you're so confident. But I have to tell them that in my very first student teaching experience, I ran and hid. Like I literally curled into a ball behind the props.
Wow.
And the teacher had to coax me out. And like literally in a ball going, no, I can't do this.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, look, I start welling up with this. And sorry to get graphic, but nervous diarrhea for the first year I was teaching yoga.
Oh,
like
wow.
just these little classes to even 2 or 3 people. And that's how I started, was teaching one person, and then 2 people, and then 3 people. And it's, you know, I started so slowly. It was a very, very long apprenticeship that I had with teaching yoga. And then, so to the point now where I just love teaching to big groups, you know, at festivals and things like that. I just kind of, give it to me. I love it. It's a real rush for me to actually stand there and feel so terrified and just do it anyway. Yeah. And then and then that has progressed into online and the camera, and trying to feel comfortable about being seen on the I think audio was a really great way to start, so I released that CD.
Yes, we talked about that earlier before we started recording. I actually knew Vanessa before she knew me. I lived in the desert in Western Australia and did her CD every day with this beautiful voice, and that was before YouTube was big. So yes, given by a friend, and an amazing CD, a Vinyasa yoga CD. Awesome. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah.
I had to throw that in.
So that was probably a great way to start for me, is just practice the audio, and then so, you know, maybe your teachers could practice doing podcasts or things like that. So it's just the audio. And then to get more comfortable with the video, I was, I don't know about that. I think it's just a lot of practice. It's a lot of time in front of the camera until you feel comfortable in front of the camera, and then to forget that the camera's there almost, and that you're actually connecting to people, and to, rather than thinking about it as this mechanical device, but think about the people that you are connecting to, and the message that you're trying to convey to the people through the camera is a really great tool that I've found. But Alexa, you do not know how much footage is on my cutting room floor.
I have the same.
and I'm just this chronic perfectionist as well, and so I watch it, and that's another thing, to watch yourself. Like I've just watched myself on camera or on the TV screen so much that I'm actually numb to it. I don't have a problem with that anymore. But my problem is that I just think I can do better. I can do better.
Which is not bad, isn't it?
It's not bad. It can be a little paralyzing.
Yeah.
When I think about some of the other stuff, sorry to get nasty, but some of the other stuff that I see on YouTube, but it's just me and myself. And again, it's that Eric has just raised the bar and set it for me.
Yeah.
And I will just go, no, if it's not good enough, I won't put it out there.
Yes. Yes. Wow. That's a powerful, that's for sure. I have a question. If you have now your yoga teacher trainees and so the yoga teachers you taught, in general, usually yoga teachers finish their training and then they go off. And the gap I saw now was a huge gap where I'm blessed to have a mentor, Eve. Is that something that you offer as well, mentorship for your students? Is that something that you offer proactively, or is it something that naturally happens with certain students? What's your...
I tried to do it formally, and it didn't work for me.
Okay.
It was at a time when our business, our empire just exploded. And I mean, now it's easier. I have an admin assistant 2 days a week, but at one point I just got bogged down with being that admin person. I was the email person, and so I didn't have time and space to mentor. At the moment, I don't do it formally. You know, sometimes I'll just go along to, especially our teachers' classes, so teachers who have gone through our training and then now they're teaching at our studio. That's probably the only really mentor situation that I have, is going along to their classes and then just giving feedback and being a presence. And the other mentoring I do... Yeah, I wouldn't say. I just have found that it can lead to disappointment because I feel full and stretched enough as it is in my life that I can't really commit to anything because I don't want to disappoint people. So, however, in saying that, our level 2 training is an excellent avenue because you're with me and doing trainings, and it's an opportunity to ask questions and just kind of be face to face, which is a really beautiful exchange. Really wonderful.
I can just imagine. I just did 20 hours with you. That was intense enough, and as you can tell, as I said, it still carries me. And I'm just imagine to do a 500-hour training with you. Wow.
Well, it's the 300-hour training that we offer, and it's 270 contact hours. So,
wow, that's amazing.
So, you know, I mean, you can see, like with my work life, I can't really... I also need time to just go and walk the dog down the beach.
Your children. And your partner is involved as well. So when I did the training with you, I heard that your partner is actually also a very, very dedicated yogi. I did one class with him, I think during that training or afterwards. And he is leading the training as well. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, Michael. So what's beautiful is that we're a great team together. So I'm really passionate about the yoga and the all the asanas and body-based things, whereas Michael is more meditative, and he came to the path of yoga through meditation. So he brings a lot of the meditation, the philosophy. He just gives these amazing philosophy discourses as well.
I heard about it.
So we're, yeah, they're legendary.
Yeah.
So we're this really great balance of yin and yang, and the masculine, feminine, Shiva Shakti.
Oh, beautiful.
So it's so this is another reason why I was sobbing in Eric's shoulder, just because he has given me this amazing relationship with Michael as well. We're business partners and life partners, and
wow, this is beautiful. You are so blessed. Yes.
So blessed.
Yes.
So blessed.
Amazing. Oh, thank you so much for sharing your journey and your insights. Now, just to wrap this up, I would like you to give us 3 tips for beginning yoga teachers or yoga teachers on their journey. What would you give us on our way?
Well, the first one would definitely be practice.
Yes.
So it's your own practice, but also practicing speaking, and whether it's practicing talking to a camera or just getting face to face with, I think, like for our yoga teacher trainees, I suggest to just lead their friends in free classes, and if it's just one-on-one, whatever it is, just to get there's nothing, experience speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And even if that experience is, not paid for, it doesn't matter. I think that there really is a 5-year apprenticeship that you have with the universe as a yoga teacher, and that there is this constant trialing of the universe, just testing you. Do you really want to do this? Are you really cut out for this?
Yes.
And so from that, then you have to show up and keep your commitment alive and your fire and your love alive in that time. And then once you've got that 5 years under your belt, then the universe goes, oh, okay, you really do mean this, and provides for you.
Yes.
So the other one is to know yourself, and I'm really enjoying the Danielle Laporte's book, The Desire Map.
Yes.
And knowing your core desired feelings just makes so much sense to me.
Yeah.
And knowing what you want. So in essence, you say, oh, I want a BMW, but actually we now know that you don't want the BMW, you want how the BMW is going to make you feel. So why not just cut to the chase and go for the feeling? So it makes lots of sense.
Yeah.
So really getting solid in yourself and knowing who you are, and then offering that, and which is probably point 3 as well, which is just having an authentic voice. And I certainly get inspired by Twee or by Shiva Ray, and hear things that they say, and I do morph with that, but I also find that it's really important to share what Vanessa's spin is on it.
Yes.
And that I know there are plenty of bumper stickers, but I can't think of them. Be yourself, everyone else has taken.
Yes, for example. Yes. Yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I love the last point. I recently just wrote something and I made a blog post out of it on Instagram, and it was about me going around here in the city and visiting lots and lots of yoga classes with different teachers, and I could tell some of them they were speaking someone else's language, but they weren't in themselves, or they were off somehow. And we're not all 100% happy and always energetic, and of course, but it's a feeling that you convey, isn't it? It's rather than the language. If you can be as eloquent as you like, you can sound like Shiva Ray, but if it's not coming from yourself, and the universe is speaking through you, then students feel that, definitely. I
think that's something that Eric did so well, was he seemed to convey such a deep message, a deep and connected message, but with so few words. It's really masterful to see him work.
I love listening to him too. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
I hope everybody, this interview was helpful, as insightful for you as it was for me. I feel very honored to have Vanessa here. Before we wrap up, just let us know, where can we find you on the web, and what are your next projects? What's happening with Being Yoga, teacher trainings, retreats? Where can we hook up with you?
Sure. Well, the best way is through the website, beingyoga.com.au. I do have a pretty good resource for teachers on the YouTube channel. So you can just search Being Yoga as one word. That's our username.
Yeah.
And so there's lots of, I love Sanskrit, so there's lots of Sanskrit videos and how-to for yoga teachers. And then other support is our 300-hour program that we talked about for teachers, a 200-hour for beginning people wanting to explore more, retreats, and we've got a Bali retreat next year, an Italy retreat.
Italy?
It's a pasta vinyasa.
Nice.
Red wine,
Nice.
pasta, and yoga, not at the same time.
Goodness.
And then, retreats on the Sunshine Coast there, and as part of the 300-hour training, restorative yoga. I do a women's yoga retreat every year. Just everything's up on the website. It's a ridiculously comprehensive website.
Yes,
you can
true.
find everything there.
You can get lost there for hours. That's for sure.
And my new Instagram account is Yogini Vanessa. I've had to find my authentic voice, stepping away from being yoga, because being yoga is becoming so much more than just Michael and Vanessa. It's this real collective and community. So I've had to find my own voice, and that's been lots of fun as well.
Oh, thank you, Vanessa. Thank you for being so open and so honest, and sharing your thoughts. I think that helps us, all of us, to go in our journey and to find our voice, and to message proudly, even with a little bit of fear, and take that as a little bit of an energetic kick to go forwards. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for all you're doing too, Alexa. Thank you.
Thank you.